Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here. And today's shout out goes to Muhammad Yasir. He was first to say first in one of my recent videos and thus wins this shout out, so congratulations. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and I got a really neat airplane for you today. This is the Eachine Spitfire, a follow-on to the Eachine Warbird series of aircraft. I've been a fan of the Warbirds that Eachine's been putting out. Actually, Volantex, I believe, is the one, the company that actually makes this. But I've been a real big fan of these ever since they came out with the P-51, the mini Mustang. This one blew everybody's minds when it first came out, the way this thing could fly. It's amazing. And I'm hoping that this is similar in flight performance to the P-51. I really like the P-51. As you see, it's a keeper of mine. It's one of the Quadcopter 101 keepers. But what's special about the Eachine Spitfire? It comes ready to fly, folks. You don't have to set up a transmitter with it, although you can, and I'll discuss that here shortly. You can if you wish, but you can. It comes with its own transmitter. All you need to do is charge up the batteries, put some WWII batteries, 4 of them, in this transmitter, and you're ready to go fly. That's the big advantage of this particular aircraft. It's 400 millimeter wingspan, so you know it's a mini aircraft, but it's still respectable. Respectable little plane. It's true 4-channel. So what do I mean by true 4-channel? Well, we have rudder control, we have elevator control. Oh, there's the elevator control, and we even have aileron control along with throttle control. So true 4-channel aircraft with aileron included in those channels. Things about it, let's see, it's crash resistant EPP, I think I mentioned that already. It's powered by a 1020 brushed motor. This is not a brushless aircraft. It does have a brushed motor. However, it's a 1020 brushed motor. These are pretty powerful motors for brush class. And the P-51 also has, I'm still on the original motor on my P-51. So they do, you know, brushed motors do fail with time, with age. However, you know, it should give it a respectable amount of time before you do need to change that particular motor. And I think in the instruction manual, they go over how to do repair on the aircraft. So that's something that the instruction manual comes with. This is pretty well written, so it goes into good details on everything you need to know. So before flying this, I highly recommend you guys read that whole instruction manual before going out to attempt to fly this particular aircraft. Okay, I mentioned 1020 brushed motor. The propellers are quick disconnect. They pop off in a crash. I mean, I ain't gonna pull it off. Already crashed just in the house, folks, playing around with it. And it did quick disconnect. So the idea of the quick disconnect propeller is you want to minimize potential for damaging your propeller along with the motor and the motor shaft. The propeller will come off in a crash, so if you do crash, make sure you look around after you pick up that aircraft. Make sure you got your propeller, because it's probably laying in the ground next to the aircraft when you find it. But again, all you need to do if it pops off is just push it back on again. It pops right back on. Just push it on. So it is powered by a 3.7 volt 400 milliampere hour battery, and this is one of them. You get 2 or 3 depending on what you order. I recommend getting the 3 version because it only adds $2 to the total cost of the aircraft, and you get 3 batteries in that case, because you are going to want to continue flying this aircraft. It's a lot of fun. However, it's a brushed motor, so always remember, folks, with brushed motor aircraft, you want to give about 15 minutes of rest time between flights to allow that motor to cool down, and that will improve your motor longevity. Okay, don't do back-to-back flights. Okay, I just landed, pop another battery and send it back up in the air. You will wear out that motor prematurely if you do that, so don't do that, folks. The controller on this that's provided, it's a reasonable controller. It has 200-meter range on the controller, so you should be able to fly this as far as you can see that aircraft. This aircraft's going to get real tiny even at about 100 meters, so keep that in mind. Yeah, I doubt you'll be able to manually fly it at 200 meters, because you're going to have a hard time seeing this at 200 meters. But let's go over the controls on this. It is 4-channel as expected. So this is your throttle, this is your rudder, this is your elevator, and this is your ailerons, right and left on your ailerons. It's available only in mode 2, unfortunately, folks. So for you mode 1 flyers out there, you're going to have to go with an external multi-protocol transfer. We'll go over that again, as I mentioned here shortly, how to do that. But the buttons on this, we do have trim control for the elevator and also for the ailerons. We have trim control for that, along with trim control for the rudder. Now the throttle trim is not really throttle trim. This is for setting one key return. Now this has one key return ability. Now what is one key return? It is not return to home. Okay, one key return, let me say that again, is not return to home. Instead, what this does is, if you set the aircraft's direction at takeoff, and say in that direction there, and you connect the controller to the aircraft, and then push this button while it's on the ground upward, that sets the base flying direction forward, okay? And if you press this button downward while it's flying, the aircraft will automatically turn around and fly in the exact opposite direction that it was pointed when you set that direction on the ground. So, you know, you set its takeoff direction by pushing up on this button, and then you activate the one key return turnaround. You know, all it does is turn around again and fly back in the exact opposite direction it was pointed at takeoff. So again, that is not true true return to home. If this is off to the right or off to the left of your flying position, and you turn this on, this actually could fly away from you. So do not depend on that as a return to home feature. It is not. Other buttons on this, it has a stunt button. You press this button here, and then you tell it to roll right or left, and it will do a roll right or left by pressing that button. Okay, button, and then tell it which direction to roll. Now this button here, it has three modes, three flight modes: beginner, intermediate, and expert. In beginner mode, this is fully stabilized, folks. You know, it has a maximum roll angle and a maximum pitch angle that it will not exceed, and that is to let beginner flyers or new flyers be able to control this aircraft without rolling it over or flipping it over and crashing it. Okay, if you're flying this thing in beginner mode, all you need to do is, if you get into trouble, is just let go of the sticks, and this aircraft will automatically right itself and level itself. Now in intermediate mode, which is the center position here, that turns off, or at least it did in the P-51. I don't know if it's the same on this one, we'll find out. But that turns off the pitch angle restrictions. So if you pull back on the stick, now we can roll upside down if we wish, and actually do loops. That's the idea. You're able to do loops, and some barrel rolls too. If you throw in some aileron with those loops, you could actually do some complex stunts. However, I don't think, at least the P-51 did not allow you to do a pure roll when you put it into intermediate mode. To do that, you need to go to expert mode, which turns off all of the angle restrictions, you know, the right, left, and up-down angle restrictions, so you can go full acrobatic or aerobatic with this aircraft in expert mode. And if you get into problems, just flip it back forward again, and it'll automatically right itself. Okay, I mentioned that this aircraft has automatic stabilization, but what does that mean in terms of the control surfaces? And I just want to show you that real quick. To turn on the aircraft, it does not have an on-off switch. I wish they would put on-off switches on this. But you plug in the battery, like so. And I'm just going to slightly close the door here because I want to turn off that battery here shortly. But put it on a flat level surface, and then turn on the transmitter like so. And it should bind to the aircraft, and it does. Okay, so now, before you fly, you always should check your control surfaces. Make sure they're all centered when they're connected to the transmitter. If not, one thing that you can do is calibrate the gyros on the aircraft for level position like this by bringing both sticks while it's connected down and outward like this until you hear a beep, and then the controls center themselves. If they're still not centered after doing that, then you may need to do some adjustments on the control surfaces by pinching or extending these little U hooks here in the control rod. You pinch them to bring them down and extend them to give it a little more room. But again, you want to have centered surfaces before takeoff, and this does. Now right now, the gyros are activated, and you can hear them. Watch what happens to like the ailerons when I turn it to the left. See how they point upward? That's going to push it back down until it levels. Now this one's extended. So, you know, go right and left, and this will automatically try to level itself in beginner mode. Again, with up and down on the controls. Notice the elevator going up and down as we move the aircraft up and down. So that's how the gyros stabilize that. Again, if we turn it off by moving forward, like so, they no longer work. Okay, that stabilization system no longer works. It's only looking for inputs from the controls. Okay, that's how the stabilization system works. Now, I mentioned that you can also connect this to the to an external multi-protocol transmitter like this little T-light here. Again, you need to use V761 protocol. I don't know if I mentioned that yet or not, but this uses V761 protocol, at least with my T-light. And to bind it, you got to turn the T-light on first, and then unplug and replug in the battery. So, and it should be connected now. I think I might need to go up and down on the throttle, or maybe I need to go in the menu and bind it. Okay, again, I mentioned this uses V761 protocol, but with this particular aircraft, I think you have to manually bind it each time, if I remember correctly. So I'm going into my, I already have it set up for Spitfire with the V761 protocol. And then we enter, and then we scroll up until we get to the bind menu, which is on page 2. And I got to go down here and go to the right, and then select enter, and there we go. It's bound now. I heard it move. Okay, yeah, now I got control of it. So again, you might need to actually bind this, use the bind control to connect this each and every time. This one automatically connects, but this one I've found that I need to provide some input. Let me check these surfaces, because when we go flying, I'm going to demonstrate this also, how to fly with this one here. On a side note, this button here, at least with mine, my setup here is for setting the headless mode direction. You go like that, or the one key return direction by moving that up and down, and I think you activate it by going the opposite direction like that. I don't remember. We'll see when we go fly. And additionally, this button here, I believe, is for beginner all the way forward. Let me make sure. Yeah, we still got control, gyro control, and then intermediate. We still got gyro control, but now I can exceed the full limits. And the full forward is expert, but I got some problems with mine. Watch, I'll show you. See, it gives weird rudder, or weird aileron deflections in expert mode, so I don't know about using that for expert. Boy, I got a high expo set on this. I just noticed that now. This is going to be interesting flying with this one. We'll see. Okay, so that is the Spitfire from Eachine. Another in the Warbird series. I really like their Warbird series again, folks. I can't say enough about them. They're so cool. So let's take it out in the flight, or out in the field, and see how it flies. So I hope you enjoy this flight. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and welcome to a beautiful day here in Erie, Pennsylvania. This is about as beautiful as it's going to get for this time of year, folks. I don't expect to see the sun until April. So we're going to fly the mini Spitfire today. Okay, to fire this up, we need to plug in the battery. Let me put the controller between my legs there, hold it there. Wish they had 3 arms, but I don't. And we plug in the battery. Now, I do wish that this did come with an on-off switch. Unfortunately, it does not. And the on-off switch is plugging in the battery, like so. And we're going to put it on the ground here. I'm going to point it in this way because I want to set this as the headless mode direction. It's going to fly back. When I activate headless mode, it's going to fly the opposite direction. But we're going to turn on the transmitter and wait until we see a beep, which means we are bound to the airplane. Now, before I arm the motors with an up and down on the throttle, we're going to set that headless mode direction, or one key return direction. It's pointed that way, so we hold this up until we notice the rudder twitching back and forth like that. So when I activate headless mode by pushing down, the airplane should fly the opposite direction. So we're good there. The next thing to do is arm the motors by up and down on the left throttle. Okay, that motor should be armed, and it definitely is. So we are ready to go. Now, I do want to make sure I'm in beginner mode. Beginner mode. Okay, and double check that our stabilization system is operating. And it seems to be, so we should be good to go. Now, the wind is coming from that direction, light breeze, so we're going to toss it that way after doing throttle. Wow, this is somewhat fast. Okay, let's lower the throttle down. That's better. Now we can fly it slow. I'm flying at about 1/5 throttle, and it flies nicely. Let's activate that one key return. Pushing down. Here it comes.
Look at it, it flies S-turns on its way back. So let's go take control again. Cutting throttle, going back in that direction. I want to do it one more time. 1 key return. It's turning back, and it does S-turns. Let's reduce throttle to bring it back down now. So that actually works. Okay, taking control, cutting the throttle. We're gliding now. I want to see this glide from way up there. Coming back toward us. It's gliding, gliding, gliding. Nice glider. I kind of knew this would fly nice. The Spitfire is one of my favorite planes, folks. That and the Mustang. And that's why I got these to review. I asked for the Mustang and I asked for the Spitfire. I knew the Spitfire was going to come out eventually, and sure enough it did. Okay, so we demonstrated 1 key return. Let's go into that intermediate mode. And the reason I want to do that is, let's see if this can do loops. Yep. Okay, let's do the automatic. Does a barrel roll. See if I can come down in here closer so you can see it. It's way up there. Let's do a high-speed pass blast and have it do a roll. If I can get it down. Come down here. Reducing throttle, reducing throttle. Okay, let's come around this way. Press that button. Oh, it does a nice roll, doesn't it? See if you can see that closer. It does a nice roll. And again, I'm in intermediate mode now. It does real hard turns too. Let's bring it close now, real close if I can. And lower. Lowering that throttle, it's just wants to climb. It's a beautiful flyer, folks. It really is. See how fast it can turn? Let's do that again. Again, I am in intermediate mode. Intermediate's awesome mode, folks, by the way. Let's do this barrel roll. I love this plane. You fly this thing, you are going to be making motor noises, I guarantee. Let's come down again. Reducing throttle, reducing throttle. Oh, stalled it there, stalled it. I cut off the throttle entirely as we're going into the wind here. So let's bring it closer. Boy, it just wants to climb. Come down here. If this thing only takes this much throttle, look at that. And it's climbing. This could probably fly a long time. I can't get it down. The only way I'm going to get it down, folks, is probably giving it a downward elevator. Let's try that. There we go. Wonderful plane. I mean, wonderful plane. Volantex Eachine did it again. Isn't that awesome? And it's with a 1S battery. That's, when the P-51 came out, everybody was amazed that a 1S aircraft could fly like that. And this one's no exception too. Oh, it's awesome. I love it. Let's see, what have we done? Let's go to expert. Nope, come on out, expert. Intermediate. We're going to keep it intermediate, folks. Again, this is my maiden flight with this thing, so I'm not comfortable yet. We are going to try, though, flying this with the jumper, though, the T-Light. I'm going to have to give it downward elevator again to come close to me. Wonderful plane. The Spitfire. Battle of Britain. So you folks are probably going to want the Fokker too to go with this. So you can have yourself your own aerial battles in the air. I think you can fly two together. You just bind them separately. Bind one first, and then bind the second one, and you should be able to fly them together. Oh, look at that thing turn. Coming around. Yeah, this is another keeper. I knew it would be. Just like the P-51. I love the P-51, and I like this one now. It's awesome. Yeah, I remember when the P-51 came out, I said, I bet you Volantex is going to come out with a whole series of these. That would be neat if they did, and they sure enough did. Now all that's missing, I think, is the Zero. We haven't seen the Zero yet from Volantex. So I bet you that's next. I bet you that's next. I bet you the Zero's next. And that would complete it. And then with the Zero, I'd get the Warhawk too. Love this plane. This is a neat one. P-50, or this Spitfire. I knew this would be neat. Okay. We're going to run this until the battery runs out. Then we're going to switch to the T-Light. We're going to see how it flies with the T-Light transmitter. I'm flying with a stock transmitter now. Awesome plane. Again, you get in trouble, just let go of the sticks. I'm in intermediate mode, get in trouble, let go of the sticks, turn it, point it back toward me. And okay, let's bring it down again. Again, to get it down here though, you got to give it downward elevator because it wants to climb, even at the lowest throttle position. Neat, huh? Wonderful plane. Wonderful, wonderful. We used to say that. That shows my age saying that. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Let's give it some rudder here. I've been doing just aileron turns. Cool plane. Reducing throttles, and it's just still climbing. Still climbing. Climbing. Come down here. Maybe if I go downwind, it'll come down. Give it a downward pitch. Downward pitch. Coming around this way now. Gotta give it a little more throttle. Boom. We're at half throttle now. So I guess that battery is wearing down a bit. Coming around, coming around. Let's try the tricks. Barrel roll, or that's aileron roll. Aileron roll. Expert mode. I got to practice with the expert mode. I'm not going to come out. I'm not going into expert mode today, folks. Not until I get a good feel for this plane. So coming down, trying to bring it down. Going around the other way. Again, I got the wind where in the direction I'm facing right now. Zoom. All I want to do is go zoom, zoom, zoom. So, beginner's mode. Let's go back to beginners. For beginners, yeah, if you cut the throttle down, this would be a good beginner's plane. With the throttle low, careful, it's going to want to climb. It's even nimble in beginner mode. You give it too much throttle, it'll go fast. And again, to bring it down, I'm having to give it downward elevator. Yeah, downward elevator right now. Okay, beginner's mode. I'm going to keep it in beginner's mode. The reason being, I can do these close passes with it. Close passes. Cool plane. Ain't it? Ain't it? isn't it? Yeah, I'm curious what the flight time is with that 1S battery. I think the P-51 was about 7 minutes, if I remember correctly. We'll see if we can get 7 minutes out of this, maybe longer, because this one seems to be very efficient. Zoom. Spitfire. And my favorite World War II planes, Spitfire, Mustang, and the Warhawk. I like the Warhawk too. The reason why I like the Warhawk is I had a Cox airplane Warhawk, and I loved how that one would fly. Control line, of course, back then. I had to do a series on control line planes because I got the motors, the little nitro motors. But that would require me to do some balsa wood building again. I haven't done that in years. Not since all these ready to flies came out. The cheap ready to flies like this one. It's flying for a good long time, ain't it? It's still got power for, yeah, it's still got power for a roll. That was an auto roll. Let's do that again. Coming by, coming by. It's that hard to do. That's how hard it is to do an aileron roll, folks. You just press the button and say which direction to roll. And it does it real well. It doesn't seem to lose any altitude while doing it. Let's get it down low and do it. Well, that time I lost some altitude. I cut back on the throttle to try to bring it down here. Cool plane, cool plane. I hear another plane, but I don't see him. I think he's above the clouds. But we are outside of 5 miles of Erie International, so this is a good spot to fly. Yeah, this certainly seems to be a long flyer. Going back to intermediate. See if we got more power to do any more loops. Yeah, we still do. Although it is getting a little bit more, requiring more and more throttle. Zoom, 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 zoom. So even in intermediate, let go of the sticks, and it levels itself. Let go of the sticks, it levels itself. Let go of the sticks, it levels itself. Let's see, let's get real weird. Let go of the sticks. Oh, that was weird. I put it in a weird position, but it did level itself eventually. That was a strange thing to do. Let's try that again. Give it a throttle, letting go of the sticks. There we go, level itself. So yeah, again for beginner pilots, stay in intermediate or beginner mode. Well, let go of the sticks, it'll straighten itself. You will need to remember to turn it toward you. You know, how to control the direction it's going so it don't fly out of. Well, let's do that one key return one more time. Let's go over there. It seems to forget one key return. Yeah, I forgot about it. Doesn't know which way it is right now. It remembered it in the beginning, but now, not so much. Cutting back the throttle, try to bring it back here. Motor's starting to get weak. Again, I want to fly until it don't fly. With that little 400 milliamp hour 1S battery is flying this thing. Oh, there we go. That's it. The motor stops when the battery's done. Okay, I have a second battery. So hold on, folks, while I go get it, and we'll try it with the T-light. So hold on, folks. Okay, I had the T-light powered on, and I just plugged in the battery. Let's see if we do have bind or if I'm going to have to manually bind it. Up, down, I guess I'm going to have to manually bind it. So going into the menus, hold on folks, while I do such. Model, and then model, and then up to bind. There it is, and then right, and then enter to select bind. And do we have bind? Yes, we do. Now we got bind. So checking left, checking right, up, down, left rudder, right rudder. So we should be good to go. And the throttle is armed, so we are good. So let's get it in the air. I'm going to put my glasses back on first. I took my glasses off, folks, so I could see the menus there up close. Okay, we got a little bit of breeze coming from that direction now. So let's try the T-light with this. Okay, T-light is flying it. Again, I am using V761 protocol. Some of these Volantex birds require MT9, or is that right? MT99 protocol. But some of them do not. Some of them are weird, like this one, and require V761 protocol. Okay, it's very docile right now, I'll tell you that, with the controller. Let's go to intermediate. Can I do a, oh, I'm not intermediate, I thought I was. Okay, cutting back. So maybe I don't have the switches set up for intermediate. It's just beginner's mode only, so I'm going to have to research that a bit. But yeah, you can fly it with the MT99 as I'm showing here. And with that, you can adjust the expos, you know, to get harder turns, harder banks, if you want. Right now, this one's doing okay, I guess, with the MT99. So I'm not going to do a full flight in this one. We know what the battery time is, but I just wanted to demonstrate really that you can fly it with a multi-protocol transmitter. And again, it's V761 protocol, not MT99, V761 for this one. Flies nicely. Oh, I like the Spitfire. I think that most people do. It's one of the better planes I thought that came out of World War II. That and the Mustang. Give it a little more throttle. So yeah, we're going to call it quits here, folks. I just want to demonstrate again, really, just that you can fly it. Yeah, I don't know. Coming around. Let's activate that one key return. One key return. Turn it off. One key return off. That did something weird. I'm not sure that was a one key return. But let's bring it in. We're going to call it quits. I just wanted to again show you that you can fly it with this thing. Bring it in for a landing. See how close I can get it. Not very. The wind's messing up my... Oh, there we go. Close enough. So the Eachine Volantex Spitfire. Awesome plane, folks. Hope you enjoyed this flight. It's Quadcopter 101, signing out.
Hi, Quadcopter 101 here again. Hey, if you want to get your own shout out in one of my future videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's real simple. Just go to my channel page and click on that subscribe. And also make sure to click that bell button right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I release a brand new video immediately and give you a chance to get that first shout out. So give it a try, folks.